Hello children, welcome back again to Rini ma'am's class. Today we are going to proceed with the chapter The Women Painters of Mithila. I hope the part 1 you have seen the video and you have gone through the text and understand it in much better way, isn't it? So let us continue with the same. These wall paintings are written in 3 areas of the hut. The first is the place of worship. Now they used to paint 3 places. So first one is the place of worship where they keep their idols. Here the icons of the household deities are placed. So deities means a god or goddesses. The icons were kept there. The second is the inner room of the heart of the hut. The second is the inner room, the heart of the hut. So first place is the place of worship they used to paint. Second is the inner room, the heart of the hut. This room has freshly plastered walls on which pictures of gods and goddesses are painted. The third is the outer walls of the hut, the courtyard where guests are received. These two are beautified with paintings. So, these 3 places are majorly decorated. First is the place of worship, second is the inner room, and the third is the outer walls of the hut where the guests are received and they sit and have a chit chat. Traditionally, women in groups began this as a social activity. They first plaster the wall with cow dung and then skillfully draw outlines with a twig of bamboo whose ends are frayed. Now, what is frayed? Become worn at the edge, typically through constant rubbing. And twig, a slender woody shoot growing from a branch or stem of a tree or shrub. So they use this bamboo shoots, a very slender woody shoot they use it, and which has some frayed edges, right? And then they fill in colors for brushes. Cloth strips are wound around twigs and dipped in color. And now you are doing art and craft, drawing, sketching, painting with different types of brushes, isn't it? But at that time, we are talking of that time where Mithila people, they did not have the usage of all these type of brushes. They used to prepare their own brushes through cloth strips which were wound around the twigs and dipped in color, and then they use it for coloring. Young girls first assist the elders till they absorb this ancestral tradition. Now, what is ancestral? Means belonging to or inherited from an ancestor. So, generation to generation, this art goes on. So, these young girls, they sit beside, get the assistance and give their assistance to their elders, and they just absorb this tradition. At times, these paintings are handed down on bits of paper as family heirlooms and referred to at the time of painting. Heirlooms, a valuable object that has belonged to a family for several generations. So, as per generation to generation, the valuable object which goes on. So, these paintings are also handed over to the coming generation. The figures of the paintings are determined by the occasion for which they are prepared. Usually, these paintings are a combination of gods, goddesses, animals, and flora. Now, what is flora? All the plants of a particular place. So, the main objective or main thinking imagination comes at the time when they make these paintings. They think about the occasion, at what time they are making it, and for what they are making, and then they use the combinations of goddesses, animals, and flora to make their paintings. In the 1950s and 60s, the government began to encourage artists in keeping this artistic tradition alive. Thus, this style of painting has acquired a new dimension. Now, this is a lot of individual artist self expression. Each artist now strives to establish their own unique style, strives to try very hard to do something. Now, during 1950s and 60s, the government started encouraging this art, and this made the artist create their own unique style. Now they want to have their own unique style to express themselves in their art. With the passage of time, there are other differences as well. Traditionally, they were done on wall, on paper mache objects, or on sheets of paper. But today, because we in the cities demand it, Mithila paintings with their sweeping lines and bright colors crop up on clothes at craft bazaars, on greeting cards and pen stands. Things that the villagers of Mithila would never dream of using. Now, as per the tradition and the ages and the generation, earlier these were used in sheets of paper or on walls, but now the demand in the cities have changed. Now they want it on clothes or greeting cards and even pen stands, which at that time the villagers never think about it. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, some women from the region were invited to Europe, Japan, Russia, and the United States, where they represented India in cultural fairs and exhibitions. Exhibitions, a public display of works of art or interest. So, during the 1960s and early 1970s, some women from this village were invited to travel Europe, Japan, where their things were exhibited, and they represented India in cultural fairs and exhibitions. So, what is exhibition? A public display of works of art or items of interest. One such artist was Ganga Devi. Born in a village Chhatra, Ganga Devi had a happy childhood. Like most children of her age, she grew up playing with dolls and observing her elder sister became skilled in the art form. Now we will know more about Ganga Devi, the artist who had a happy childhood, and she saw her elder sister well trained in this art form. Sometimes Ganga Devi would assist in making art objects for a forthcoming wedding. And Ganga Devi used to help her sister, elder sister, in this art form for and making different art objects. But when it was time for Ganga Devi's own marriage, her luck ran out. Her husband's family lived in despondency. Now Ganga Devi had a very good, happy childhood, but during the time of her marriage, she was not well supported by her husband's family because they lived in despondency. What is despondency? A state of low spirits from loss of hope or courage. It was difficult for her to get a full meal a day. Ganga Devi was anxious and disheartened. In desperation, she went to her guru. Her guru advised her to take up commercial painting. Now, Ganga Devi was not even getting full meal a day, so she was very much unhappy and just went to her guru to take his suggestion, and her guru advised her to take a commercial painting because guru was knowing that she knew this art form very well. Soon Ganga Devi's diligence and talent were recognized. Within a year of painting, Ganga Devi received the National Master Craftsman Award. The award brought her some income and some international fame. She was sent by the Indian government to participate in an exhibition in Moscow. Now, Ganga Devi, as she was very well acquainted and familiar with this art, she was well recognized all over the world. Indian government promoted her and made her to participate in an exhibition to Moscow. There she saw a hotel with electric lights, restaurant and elevators. Her mind was alive with all the strange scene she had seen, the people she had met, and she needed to record all her experiences on paper. And she was when she went to Moscow, she saw a hotel and she was very well amazed to see this beautiful place, and so she wanted to record it in and all her experiences on paper. As with the other Mithila painters, Ganga Devi drew inspiration for her paintings from the activities she saw around her as well as from the rich store of folk tales and legends in Madhubani. Folk tales, a story originating in popular culture typically passed on by word of mouth. Now Ganga Devi, she used to make her all the drawings or paintings with the folk tales, and she used to treasure all these beautiful arts. With the money provided by the Master Craftsman Award, she bought a farmland. Her success had led scores of other women to paint. Now everybody saw her as an inspiration and idol, and other women of the village, they also took up this painting. Many of these women have also been recognized as artists of national and international stature. Stature means importance. So Ganga Devi, she was an soul of inspiration to all the women painters in her village, and they also got the fame from getting all the national and international importance. Content with life and her art, Ganga Devi died battling cancer. She had once said, I was just like Ahilya before receiving the national award. I had been condemned to be in a stone, but I was freed. Condemned, sentenced to a particular punishment. She said she was very well settled in her life, but at the later stage she died battling cancer. And she said that I was just like Ahilya before receiving, means she was just like Ahilya who never knew what was there. But I had been condemned to be a stone, but I was freed. Means some condemned means sentenced to a particular punishment, means she was thrown into that place as a punishment, but somehow she made herself free by coming up to the limelight and to the uh, better future. Homework for you is read the chapter and find out the meanings of difficult words which you did not understand. Thank you, children. Stay happy, stay safe.